Hey guys, I'm Phoenix and welcome back. But if you're new, then welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Spider-Man Far From Home, all the changes and the alternate end that it had. So writers Chris McKenna and Eric Summers have confirmed that there were changes involved with Far From Home, which includes the alternate ending. Okay, so firstly I want to talk about Mysterio. So Mysterio was going to turn out being a villain at the start, and no tricks of him being good, just immediately known to us as a villain. This would have changed the whole scenario of the actual movie that we were exposed to. The whole thing was confirmed when Chris, quote, "With Mysterio, there were versions of the story where he was the forefront as an out-and-out villain that Peter and Nick were chasing around Europe. As he pulled off these events, old buildings to this backstory of why he was doing it, which was a wholly different third act. We went down a lot of different roads." Summers then adds, ultimately, because Mysterio deals with so much in deception, it was sort of a natural that it led to a story structure where his entire identity was misled for a while. Okay, so this is basically half of the movie of when Mysterio was bad, but more extended. Mysterio was going to be a villain at the start, and in my opinion, it would be reasonable if they did this version because that's what Mysterio is. He's a villain, and in the comics, he's a villain. The closest I think they've ever done to come close with the comics is Mysterio using illusions to defeat Spider-Man and trick people that he's a hero. Alright, let's move on to the multiverse. And as we all know, the multiverse doesn't exist. It was one of Mysterio's lies, and people were wondering, why was it mentioned though? Summers explains, anytime we find ourselves with a twist or a surprise reveal of something like this, we want to do as much as we can to protect it and distract from it ahead of time. McKenna then adds, what we kept saying is that he had to feel like a real character, so we wanted to give him a tragic backstory with all the details of coming from another world, and make sure that the elementals he's fighting felt like a growing Avengers level threat. We wanted to make it as believable as possible. So they did it mainly to, I guess, for the MCU future-wise, and also they did it for the hype of Mysterio and the movie. Alright, let's move on to the Skrulls. Now, in the post-credit scene, it shows that Maria and Nick were Talos and his wife, who are Skrulls. The whole time, and Nick was in outer space doing whatever the hell he was doing. Writers quote, thematically, we wanted to have as many illusions and twists as possible, and up through the end of the movie, we wanted to make it you question everything you've seen beforehand. But it was definitely an idea that came later in the process. And it helped because if anyone in the audience had an issue with Nick Fury falling for Quentin's nonsense, it was a nice safety value to have. Okay, so this was done for a nice twist and to explain how Fury could be fooled by Mysterio. Okay, finally, let's move on to the main event. I think, there was going to be an alternate ending where instead of Spider-Man's identity being revealed by Mysterio and framed, he was going to reveal himself during the final fight by Mysterio's tricks. And there were debates on Peter being revealed and being framed, and I'll get to that soon, but for now, let's talk about Peter getting revealed. Chris explained that we were challenged by the producers to come up with something that Peter sacrifices by the end of this movie. And when we hit upon that as a group, it became a very scary idea. Oh no, we can't do that. Then it's not a Spider-Man movie anymore. It's such a bold maneuver that it became inevitable, particularly with a tricky character like Mysterio, who's this dark father figure from the grave. Is he trying to give Peter this I am Iron Man moment? I'm thrust upon him. But is this a lesson or a punishment? Okay, now Summers then quotes, we're definitely debating, should we just reveal who Spider-Man is, or should we frame him for something and turn him into a pariah? Ultimately, we decided that both was the way to go. It's such a trauma at the end because he's got the girl and finally earned a big swing through the city, so we want to knock him down as far as possible. Okay, so I think all of this is mainly a lead up for Spider-Man's future in the MCU. Spider-Man is going to be known as an outcast by everyone, and this will be explored in the future, like Spider-Man 3. Okay, so that's all that was confirmed that I know about Spider-Man Far From Home, all the changes in Alternate End, and I hoped you learned and enjoyed. So yeah, thank you. Please like, subscribe, and yeah.